Politicians cop plenty of personal abuse. It goes with the job. But in recent days, Tony Windsor says he's received menacing messages on his mobile phone. And yesterday, the country MP played one of those messages to the media.
You're a f***ing dog, Windsor. You're a f***ing liar, a dog, a rat, a big f***ing MP dog doing there nothing. And you wait. You're not going to get voted again, you f***ing I hope you die, you bastard.
Tony Windsor is in our Parliament House studio. Tony Windsor, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Fran. Very interesting.
Tony Windsor, you get plenty of abuse in public office, as we heard earlier, called a dingo, a rat, a traitor. Why did you decide to go public with this particular mobile phone message?
Well, there's been a series of them, and I think this sort of nonsense debate we're having on climate change at the moment, or we're not having on climate change debate, the shock jocks and others are involved in an orchestrated campaign here over the issue itself, but particularly targeting members of Parliament that want to be involved in the substantive debate. So I think if they keep running that line, they may well have a self-fulfilling prophecy that they will incite people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. You know, I've been on a bit of talkback radio, and you can speak to these people and actually say, I didn't say I was supporting a carbon tax, and they will go on straight after you and say, well, there he is, he's still supporting a carbon tax. That's the sort of nonsense that's going on, and it's being done for a purpose. This is about eradicating the current government. They're using the carbon pricing issue as the catalyst to attempt to get some sort of people's revolt, a US-style revolt to overthrow the government via the independents.
Well, People's Revolt, that's a term that Tony Abbott is using and using with pride. He's calling on people to revolt and bombard Labor politicians with, letters, emails, visits, whatever it is. Are you worried by that kind of language?
No, it doesn't worry me, but I think it could worry our democratic processes if we sort of incite people to do things that they wouldn't normally do under the guise of some sort of orchestrated political campaign. I think that is a real worry. I think we saw instances in America recently where people were incited by various professional media people to things to hideous acts. So I think we just want to be a bit careful. You're talking
about the shooting of a congresswoman?
Yes, we're a very lucky country, and I think we just want to make sure we preserve it. I was in the New South Wales Parliament for 10 years, and one of the things I was proudest of was that the people could come into the back gallery and actually touch the Member of Parliament if they wanted. They're sitting right behind them. We don't want bulletproof glass around our parliaments and upgraded security, but some of these people have got to be a little bit more responsible about what they say.
But Tony Windsor, we have seen, we've seen heated language and political brawls before in this country. I wonder what's worrying you to the point you're talking about people being incited to violence. Have you received death threats yourself?
Oh yes, and there's a couple of those being investigated at the moment. I don't think they're real threats, but they could be. But I think the point I'm making is they may be in the future, and they may well be incited by people making utterances, both within the Parliament and outside it, as to then different people ring up. I had a constituent ring up yesterday. He was shocked with what was going on in the Parliament yesterday. Well, we know that sort of activity goes on most days, that it's a bit of theatre, but some people out there, quite a lot of people, don't understand that rigmarole. They see it as a mob of school kids playing out some sort of brawling activity without hitting each other. Well, the punches may be thrown, and they mightn't be thrown by the people on the stage, but
I'm
could be others.
I'm just wondering what's concerning you more at this moment. You've been around a long time. Do you think there is a different tone to the sort of, say, the death threats you have received and received in the past? Are they particularly linked to this carbon debate? Are they different?
Well, I haven't had death threats before, but I think there's a degree of orchestration going on. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Now, those behind the orchestration maybe could answer your question a lot better than I can. All I'm saying is, look, be careful. We don't want to go down the American road. We've got a great democracy here. We can argue with each other without killing each other. There should be substantive debates on substantive issues, not just slogans and one-liners and abuse on the airwaves. And I would hate to see something happen to someone in our parliamentary system, and that would change it forever.
Well, just on that, is it possible to have a rational debate, a debate beyond slogans, without the detail? The pressure is on the Multi-Party Committee on Climate Change, which you're a member, to deliver the detail. Do you think that should have happened before this whole hybrid model got put into the public domain in the first place?
Yes, I think there are some issues there that, in terms of the substance of the debate. There's been this rush to carbon tax. There is no price. There is no target. There is no legislation. So, but I think people have got to recognise too that it's really about the climate change debate. My role in this is, and I asked Tony Abbott as well as Julia Gillard during the 17-day period, to get Ross Garnaut to revisit what's happened since Copenhagen in terms of what's the rest of the world doing in terms of the carbon debate. If they're doing nothing, we'll probably do nothing as well. If they're doing something, let's look at what we can do. Also, the Productivity Commission have been assigned to look at the inherent carbon prices of various policies around the world. Now, that'll give us an indicator as to what our competitor nations are actually doing. So I think we should receive that information and then make a decision, and that's exactly what I will be doing, and I'll take my electorate into account as I always have, and that's the process that I'm embarked on. If there are others embarked on other processes, the Greens and the Labor Party and the Coalition, well, that's their business, but I'm embarked on that. I'm going to receive the information, have the debate, and then make a decision when I see legislation on the floor of the Parliament, and not make a decision before that.
Tony Windsor, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Fran.
Tony Windsor is the independent member for New England. It's 8 on RN Breakfast.